What if we told you that Europe's first civilization existed 7,000 years ago, had their own writing system, and created some of the most mysterious artifacts ever found? But you've probably never heard of them. The Vinca culture challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient Europe, and what archaeologists have uncovered will completely change how you see prehistoric civilization. Welcome back to Hidden Past History. Here's where it gets wild. While your history teacher may have told about ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, they completely skipped the civilization that was doing all of this first. And the reason will shock you. We're talking about the Vinca culture, and they were building sophisticated cities in the Balkans when the rest of Europe was still living in caves. But here's the thing that will blow your mind. They were doing this 2,000 years before the Sumerians, who we've always been taught invented civilization. So why did history forget them? And what did archaeologists find that's forcing them to quietly rewrite textbooks right now? Because what we're about to show you will make you question everything you learned in school. The story starts in 1908 when an archaeologist named Miloje Vasic began digging outside Belgrade, expecting to find some old pottery. Instead, he uncovered something that shouldn't have existed. Layer after layer of sophisticated urban planning spanning over 1,000 years. But wait, it gets stranger. These weren't primitive villages. The Vinca people built multi-story houses with heating systems that wouldn't look out of place in a modern home. They organized their neighborhoods like city planners and created art so advanced that museums today display it as masterpieces. Here's where the story takes a shocking turn. In the 1960s, archaeologists found hundreds of clay tablets covered in symbols that looked almost alien. When they counted them, they realized they had just discovered what might be humanity's first written language. If confirmed, this would shatter everything we know about the origins of writing. But what they found in the ritual chambers changed everything. Evidence of ceremonies so sophisticated they suggest these people had developed complex religious systems thousands of years before anyone else. And the artifacts they left behind, they're unlike anything found anywhere else in the ancient world. But the real game changer? These people weren't just farmers. They were metallurgists, creating bronze alloys when the rest of the world was still banging rocks together. We're talking about industrial-level production thousands of years before it should have been possible. And we can prove it. These aren't just theories. We have the artifacts, the dating, the evidence. Let us show you what mainstream archaeology doesn't want you to see. The dating results came back, and archaeologists couldn't believe what they were seeing. 5500 BCE. That's impossible, they thought. That would make this older than everything we've been taught about civilization. Some archaeologists refused to accept it. Others called it the discovery of the century, because what they found at Plochnik in Serbia was Europe's earliest metallurgical workshop, complete with furnaces reaching over 1,000 degrees Celsius. That's not just impressive, that's supposed to be impossible with Stone Age technology. But here's what really stunned them. These weren't small settlements. The largest Vinca cities housed thousands of people, making them some of the biggest urban centers in the world at that time. They had social classes, specialized crafts, and trade networks stretching across continents. When linguists first saw those clay tablets, they thought someone was playing a prank. The symbols were too organized, too complex to be random scratches. But as they studied them, patterns emerged. Recurring sequences, grammatical structures. Someone had been writing 7,000 years ago. If the Vinca script is real writing, it pushes back the invention of written language by over 1,000 years and puts its birthplace in Europe, not the Middle East. And here's the part that breaks every rule about ancient civilizations. There's no evidence of warfare anywhere. No weapons, no fortifications, no burned cities. They built a peaceful urban civilization that thrived for over a millennium. How is that even possible? But here's proof of their influence. Vinca copper tools have been found in Britain. Vinca pottery techniques show up in France. Their innovations spread across a continent, centuries before we thought such trade networks existed. The traditional story says civilization began in Mesopotamia and slowly spread to backward Europe. The Vinca culture destroys that narrative completely. Europe wasn't waiting to be civilized. It was already home to one of humanity's most advanced societies. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Around 4500 BCE, something happened that still haunts archaeologists today. The Vinca people didn't just disappear. They methodically abandoned their cities. Tools left mid-use, meals left on tables, as if they all decided to leave at exactly the same moment. What could make an entire civilization just walk away? Was it climate change, invasion, or something else entirely? The evidence suggests they had time to plan their departure, but they left no records, no explanations, no clues about where they went. And then their advanced techniques, the metallurgy, the urban planning, the possible writing, all of it vanished with them. It would be centuries before Europe saw anything like it again. The Vinca culture represents the most significant challenge to mainstream archaeology in decades, yet most people have never heard their name. They prove that human innovation emerged much earlier and in far more places than we ever imagined. They were creating writing systems, advanced metallurgy, and peaceful urban centers, when conventional history says it was impossible. They achieved something that modern archaeologists thought couldn't exist: a complex civilization without warfare, conquest, or social domination. But perhaps most importantly, they remind us that history is full of forgotten peoples whose stories are still buried, waiting to be discovered. Every new excavation has the potential to completely rewrite what we think we know about our past. The biggest mystery isn't what the Vinca people achieved, it's why it took so long to piece their story together. Unlike Egypt's pyramids or Mesopotamia's tablets, the Vinca sites were scattered across multiple countries, studied by different teams, in different languages. Only recently have archaeologists been able to connect all the pieces. The Vinca people didn't just challenge history, they shattered it. And their story forces us to ask, what other advanced civilizations are we missing? What other pieces of humanity's puzzle are still waiting to be found? What do you think happened to the Vinca people? And here's the big question. If they really did invent writing before everyone else, should we be completely rewriting our history books to put Europe at the center of human civilization? Drop your theories in the comments below. We love hearing what you think about these forgotten civilizations. And if this story just flipped everything you thought you knew about ancient history, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more archaeological mysteries coming this month that will completely change how you see the ancient world. Trust us, you won't want to miss what we're uncovering next. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the forgotten past, and we'll see you in the next video.